Your email is your home base of all communication. It's going to be the hub. So let's set it up so that it is aesthetically pleasing for you and it's organized in a way that is going to make sense. So let's start off with customization. Okay, so this is my email account. So if you notice, I've already set up a theme and you can do that too. So we're going to go up to this little icon here for settings. And you'll have some quick settings that you can choose from. So you could just start there. If you wanted to change how the emails themselves are laid out, how compact they are, you could choose different options here. And for themes, you have quick settings here. That's the one that I use. We're going to go to see all settings. Okay, there's a lot going on here, a lot of options. So I'm going to show you the things that I care about. Number one, I only want 25 conversations per page. You do have options. You could make it fewer. You could have 100 conversations per page. I find that overwhelming, but maybe that'll work for you. So decide how many conversations you want per page. Okay, the next thing would be the undo send. This is really helpful. If you accidentally send an email, you can actually unsend it. So this tells you how much time you have. So if you accidentally send one out, you have up to 30 seconds to recall it and be like, oh, there's a typo in it, or I didn't mean to send that, or I already figured out the answer to my question. So I set it for 30 seconds. Okay, now you can go through all these different options if you want. I'm just going to point to the ones that I care about most. I do have the grammar suggestions on. I love grammar. It's really important to me. I find it to be very helpful to make sure that I feel good before I send out my emails. I do turn off the Smart Compose suggestions. You know how if you're writing an email or if you're texting and there will be those words that pop up saying like, here's a word you could use next and it's trying to help you. I don't like that. It kind of messes with my typing, so I've turned that off. Okay, the stars. You can actually star your emails to help organize it if you like color. So I have these colors, which are representing my courses because I do them by color. And then the red exclamation mark is something really important I know I need to come back to immediately. And the green check mark is something that in my head I've kind of checked off, but I don't want to archive it quite yet. It might be like a meeting's coming up or something like that. I have my profile picture. Okay, and then for your signature, I have my name. You could just put your first name. I could put Miss Perkins. Who knows? Maybe I'll change it. But if you want just an automatic thing at the bottom of your email, you should put your name. Okay, and that's probably the biggest stuff that I know that I really care about. But you can go through all these different options and kind of just familiarize yourself with different things that are available. The only other thing would be themes. And you can pick a lot more than you saw in that little quick tab to the side. First, let me show you how those colored check marks and stars worked. So if you go to an email and you click it once, it is going to pop up with one of the colors that you selected. If you would like to unclick the color, you just click on it once more. But to get to the other colors or check marks or exclamation points that you chose, you would just click it a few times kind of quickly. So if I wanted it to be purple, that's where it would go. Okay, now when it comes to organization, I'm going to hover over here with my inbox, make sure that's a pulled out menu. And everyone should have inbox, sent, drafts, kind of the typical stuff. But you can also make your own labels. So I have ones that work for me. So English department, different forms that I need, student models, parent communication, just all these different things that are really helpful for me in my job. And if I wanted to make a new label, I would go all the way down here and I'm going to hit create new label. Now this will be really helpful, I think, if you would like to keep all of your, say, English emails in one place. But you could do this for all your classes, or if you are involved in extracurriculars, or you get emails from your coach, or whatever the case may be, you can just have them all labeled so they're all going to be in one place. So I'll hit create. And you should get a notification that tells you, but then you can also just double check. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now let's say that I wanted to move this email into that English class. So I'm going to click on it. Then I get a little folder with an arrow, move to English class. And then if I go check it out, ta-da, there it is. So you can have all of your materials organized in their specific folders to just make it easier for you to dig through the stuff that you need when you need it. For step 3, we're going to talk about scheduling your emails and timing your inbox. First, I'll show you the scheduled send that everyone can do using Gmail. So I'm going to open up a new email that I'm going to compose. And I'll just send it to myself. Okay, and now pretend we have a subject and the body's filled out, that whole deal. And I could just click send. That would send the email out right now. Or there's a little arrow for a drop-down menu. And you can schedule when the email is going to be sent. So it pops up with some automatic defaults, or you can pick a day and time. Now, this would be helpful for a few different things. Let's say you're working with a group and you are someone who likes to stay up really late, or you're just having a late night or whatever, and you don't know if your group members have notifications turned on. So you want to send something at, say, 2 in the morning. I'm not saying you should stay up that late, but let's just say that you are. It's an emergency. And you want to send something out, you just need to get it done off your plate. You can schedule it so that it'll arrive in everyone's inbox at 7 a.m. instead of pinging on someone's phone at 2 a.m. when they're trying to sleep. So it's really helpful. Now, the other option I'm going to talk about is something called Boomerang. It's this little extension right here. It is something I went to the Chrome store to go get. Before I go further and show you anything about this extension, I need to point out something very, very important. I am not suggesting that any of you get this. In fact, if you go to Boomerang's privacy policy, it actually says that anyone under the age of 18 is not supposed to use this. So why am I showing it to you? Well, it's an email scheduler, and I want you to understand on my end how email is going to come into my inbox. But secondly, maybe there's another version of this that's meant for people under 18. I don't know of one right now, but maybe one of you guys will find something that you can share out that you have vetted through the privacy policy to make sure that you're okay and your parents or guardians are okay with it as well. So I want you to see what the option is. Do not install Boomerang yourselves, but if you find an option for kids, that would be amazing. Okay, so I'm just going to show you that it can pause my inbox. So if I click on this, it's going to give me these options, but these cost money. I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to hit pause. And that means that my inbox is paused until I hit the little play button again. So I'm going to do this at around 4 p.m. every day and then unfreeze it around 7 a.m. every day. And the reason for that is I need to maintain some boundaries in order to preserve my own emotional and mental well-being. I have found that if I'm constantly connected to work all the time, it actually, I think, is deleterious to my ability to do the job well. So I have a timer on. I'm not suggesting you do it, but I want you to understand why I might not receive your email if you send it to me at 5 p.m. or if you send it to me at 6:30 a.m. I just want to clarify that if you do send me that email at 5 p.m. or 6:30 a.m., I will eventually get it. It's just going to be kind of held off until it's within that 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. range. Now, if you have a specific need and we set something up ahead of time, that is no problem. But otherwise, just expect that I'm not going to see your communications until those set hours. So those are my tips for email organization, setting your aesthetic. If you have any other tips or tricks, or you find an extension that you think would be really helpful for everyone, please share. I would love to see what you guys come up with.